gentlemen, live show number 425. 425. Here we are in the Beit Shemesh studios, in the Shlak Rock Foundation studios in Beit Shemesh, Israel. Hope you guys are doing well. It is a special show tonight. It'll just be me talking as we are in the middle of the 3 weeks. The 3 weeks, for those that don't know, it's the fast days, the 21 days between the 17th day of Tammuz and the 9th of Av, Tisha B'Av. Those 21 days are called the 3 weeks, and those are the days where you're not supposed to have live music. So we are going to go these 21 days without live music, which means the next show that I do will probably be another talk. If I do another 1 or 2 shows, they'll be talking until after Tisha B'Av. Then we'll be able to play music. So tonight is a special show because it's tonight. To say hello to Uri Butler from Squirrel Hill, PA, and of course David Goodman from Camp Hask and all the Camp Hask counselors. Today is tonight, as I speak to you from Israel, is the 25th anniversary of my father passing away. Jason from Chandler, Arizona, great to see you. So tonight is the 25th anniversary of my father passing away, and tonight we are going to tell the story of my father and my grandfather. My grandfather's 56th Yorzeit, the 56th anniversary of him passing away, was on Saturday night, Sunday, and on Monday night, Tuesday, which is tonight and tomorrow. Tonight and tomorrow are that's my father's 25th Yorzeit. He actually passed away 2 months before 9/11. Isn't that interesting? So that's the story, and we're going to tell we're going to go back. I'm going to tell some family history. So let's go back to the year 1895. I bet you didn't expect that. We were in 2026, 1895, 121 years ago. My grandfather was born in Poland, a place called Tarnów, Tarnow, Tarnów. Now, my grandmother, who was my grandfather's first cousin, so they named him Pesach Yehuda Solomon, born in 1895, and in 1896, my Bobby Malka was born, and she was born in a town in Poland called Seragin. I believe you pronounce it like that, but I could be wrong on the pronunciation. Now, let's move quickly through the life of Pesach Yehuda Solomon, he and Bobby Malka Solomon. She was also a Solomon because they were first cousins. Anyway, they got engaged when he was 13 and she was 12. And they got married at 18 years old. But at 18 years old, Zadie Pesach, as I call him, had to go to World War I, to fight in World War I. That would be 1913, 1914, right? He had to go to the Polish army, and they fought on the wrong side of World War I. They lost. But his job was to be a phone line technician. So if there was a phone line that was broken, he had to go out into the field in the middle of, could be gunfire. He had to go out in the field and fix it. And one day there was a problem, and he went out to try to fix it, and he couldn't find the problem. And the commandant put a gun to his head and said, "If you don't fix it, I'm going to kill you. If you don't find the mistake, find the problem and fix it, I'm going to kill you." So at that point, he said, "You know what? I better find the problem." And Hashem was kind. He found the problem. He fixed it. And then he said, "I got to get out of here." So he escaped through Pressburg, Pressburg, which I believe is Austria. And he went to America. And it took him 5 years to send for my grandmother. Now, remember, they didn't have any children. They got married at 18, but they didn't have any children when he went to the war. And so in 1918, he's in New York. And it took 5 years. In 1916, he's in New York. And in no, it was two. He got there in 21, and then in 26, my Bobby Malka comes to America, and they are reunited. So isn't that an interesting story? So they left Poland, and they went to America, and they settled in East New York. And my father, Alexander Peretz, right? Alexander Peretz, he was born in 1928. So we're up to 1928. Now, Zaidi Pesach, try as he would, just couldn't make a living. It was the Depression. Imagine growing up in the Depression. It's bad. It was really bad. They moved like 18 times in 20 years or 20 times in 18 years. My father was the oldest. He had a younger brother and another younger brother. And they all witnessed this. You know what I'm saying? My Zaidi tried to make a living. He was in real estate. He was in insurance. It didn't go. And so, meanwhile, they moved and moved and moved. They moved around East New York because the landlords back then would say 3 months rent free, and then you got to pay the rent because they tried to get people to move in. As we say hello to Esty Raiden. Esty, good to see you. We're telling the story of my father and my Zaidi because it's my father's Yorzeit tonight, his 25th Yorzeit, 25 years since my father passed away. But right now we're still in East New York. Zaidi, it's 1926. Zaidi, my father's born in 1928. They move 18 times in 20 years. Meanwhile, my father, when he gets older, he goes to yeshiva. He goes to yeshivas. I would say hello to Aaron. He goes to yeshivas, first Torah Chaim, and then he goes to Chaim Berlin. Now, here's what's interesting: is my wife's family is also from Tyra, but she was British, so that's very, very interesting, as Sharon points out. Yeah, thank you. But they're all wishing me that the neshama should have an aliyah, that the soul should rise up. Well, my Zaidi soul and my father's soul. Anyway, so the story is very interesting because they grow up in the poverty, absolute poverty, the Depression, and my father, when he gets older, he has to go to the army. Which war are we talking about? Not World War II, because World War II was 1939 to 45. My father would have been 11 to 16. No, my father was drafted in 1952, I believe. 1952, 53. And he goes to Korea. He was in this Korean War. So my Zaidi takes my father to the Shmelner Rav. You might ask, who is the Shmelner Rav? I don't know. I really don't know. But the Shmelner Rav must have been a big holy man because my father goes to see him and my Zaidi asks the following question. If you haven't figured it out by now, my Zaidi was Hasidic. I don't know what sect, though. He never told us. He never told me. He never told us. Well, he passed away when I was 9. So, I'm not sure. Anyway, Zaidi takes my father to the Shmelner Rav, and he says to the Shmelner Rav, should my father go into Korea as a chaplain or as a private? And the Shmelner Rav says he should go in as a private. Why? Because the Shmelner Rav somehow knew that my father would be sent to France and Germany and would not see any action. And that's exactly what happened. So my father spent 2 years during the Korean War, but in France and Germany. And he never, other than the training that he had to go through, which was a lot, he never actually saw fighting. He never saw fighting. And the Shmelner Rav was right. If he would have been a chaplain, they would have sent him right to Korea, where he would have had to do, rabbinical stuff or whatever. So now, meanwhile, my Zaidi continues to work, tries to make a living. Very hard for him. I don't think he succeeded his entire life, but he did the best he could. Meanwhile, my father meets my mother in 1956, and they get married in 58, and they move to Kew Gardens. as we start seeing East New York emptied out, and all the kids moved to Kew Gardens, to the Five Towns, to Muncie, to Kew Garden Hills, to Hillcrest, to all these places. And that's what happened. It was a, the kids all left. They didn't stay. Now, my father gets married to my mother. They settle in Kew Gardens, and I'm born in 1961. And I grew up in Kew Gardens. My father becomes an accountant, and he works for the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, but he's also a chazan. He's also a chazan. So, yeah, that's what happens. He's a chazan during the high holidays, cantor, during the high holidays, and he's also during the week. He works for the IRS. And what else can I tell you? That was while he's doing that, and it was a government job with great benefits and good salary. And I grew up, and I went through, I went to Yeshiva Central Queens. From Yeshiva Central Queens, I went to, what's it called? From Yeshiva Central Queens, I went to MTA, or Yeshiva University High School. From there, I went to Queens College, and so on and so forth. My Zaidi passes away in 1970. He was 75 years old. And it was just like that song, oh, my Zaidi lived with us in our parents' home. He used to laugh, he'd put me on his knee, right? That song. So we were always religious anyway. But the point is, Zaidi did pass away in the summer. I was at day camp. I wasn't in sleepaway camp. But anyway, when I was 9 years old. And what's really cool is I have this letter that I should have prepared myself with you guys. The funny thing is, Zaidi left me a letter it was on my birthday, and I don't know how old I was, but he passed away when I was 9, so it has to be up until 9 years old. He goes, to my special grandson, be great. It's very funny. I carry it with me whenever I go traveling, kind of like as a good luck charm. Aaron asks, so you got your music skills from your father? The answer is, I got my musical skills from everybody. My mother's side, we haven't discussed my mother, because my mother's Yorzeit is coming up. It's in 3 weeks. So maybe we'll do a special on that. And my grandmother from Romania, had chazanim and cantors on both generations, or on both sides of the family, from my mother's side, my father's side. I was musical from birth. My mother was musical, my father was musical, everybody was musical. And the first thing my parents did when they got married was they bought a piano. They had to buy a piano. So I have the piano here. It's in my house, and I've written many albums on that. All the albums, all the songs, going back to 1984. I wrote those songs. So now what's very interesting is my father retires after IRS, and one of the things he said to me, before he died, was he said to me, I'm not going to be here forever. And I looked at him and I go, yes, you will. I said that. I said, yes, you will. Well, anyway, one day, it was July 19th, 2001, 2 months before 9/11. Interesting fact. My mother calls me and says, I'm in Israel and she's in Queens, and she says, your father is not with us anymore. Those were her words. Your father is not with us anymore. And I said, what happened? And basically he had some sort of heart attack and died. Very sudden. It was a sudden thing, but it was perfect for him. That's the way he wanted to go. But for us, it was kind of sad because he left us, and then I came in and I sat Shiva and we did all that stuff. And then that's the story. Life goes on, right? So my mother just passed away 2 years ago. We'll talk about her in 3 weeks. In the meantime, my grandmother lived to 88. So 1996, 88 would have been 83. I think she passed away in 1983 at the age of 88 years old. And her birthday was in February February 8th. February 8th. And my she was a really fun grandmother too. We called her Bobby Malka. So we had Zadie Pesach and Bobby Malka, and then we had very interesting. And then we had my father and my mother. Now they're all there, and then who's left? It's the King of Schlock, his brother, his sister, and all of our kids. So, that's what's going on. It sounds like a downer of an episode, but it's not really, because we're celebrating their life. We're celebrating my father's life. My father led a good life out of the Depression. He managed to. They didn't buy a house; they rented their whole lives, but still, he was very proud of all of us because we bought houses. So, and also, I have such great memories of my father taking me and my brother for accordion lessons, and then afterwards we went for a milkshake. It was the best. I'm telling you, they were great parents, great people. They're always positive. Very rarely did they get angry. Very rarely. I'd have to do something really bad, which I wasn't. I wasn't really like that. I was a goody goody. And the shul that they picked, the community, the Kew Garden Synagogue, was fantastic. It's called the Dat Yeshurun. I learned so much there. Really, all the songs, the 621 songs, that I've written so far, plus, well, there are more actually. They're all because of the upbringing that I had. They're all because of that. You don't just. Well, actually, they could have been written out of sadness, but they weren't. Not these. These were written out of happiness. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, people are coming in, writing some nice things. Thank you. Yes, may everyone's neshama have aliyot. I don't know. We don't really know what that means. I would imagine it means let's say you're level 6, step 3. That means you go up from level 6, step 3 to level 6, step 4. I don't know. I don't know what it means. All I know is we are here in this world, and this world is a testing ground. Robin, thank you very much. Robin writes, Shama have an aliyah. I just saw Robin at the premiere of King of Schlock at the Nefesh B'Nefesh offices. It was great. Anyway, so the point is that it was a celebration. We grew up in a great time from until 9/11 came. So 61 to 2011, the first 50 years of my life were just so smooth. They were just so smooth. That's the word I would use. And then once 9/11 came, things started to change. My mom was great, and my dad was great, and it was just a great childhood, followed by my teenagers and the 20s, and I never really grew out of my 20s. I've been a baby, but a kid. I've been a kid for a long, long time, and that's the story. So now you have, the story of my Zadie from 1895 to 1970, my father from 1928 to 2001. In 3 weeks, the 19th of Av, we will do my mother and tell the story of my mother and tell the story of my grandmother and my grandfather. Grandpa Harry, Bobby Hinda, and my mother. So that will make us come full circle. Everybody out there, I think I've talked for, oh my God, how long have I talked for? Yeah, like 20 minutes. Perfect. Coming up on 20 minutes. Want to tell everybody I didn't. If you want to make a donation to the Schlockrock Foundation in the name of your loved one or whatever, or my parents, whatever you want to do, you can do it. We have to get Daniel off the ground, ladies and gentlemen. I am back. One day I'll tell you, for 2 years I haven't been feeling so well, but we are back. I'm an easy at 90% right now, 90% of what I was, which is amazing. And I thank God for that. And King of Schlock is ready to get back on the road. August 9th, Chabad of Cape Cod, finishing album number 41, even though 42 is out already. And that's the story. Yeah. So I want to thank our associate producer, Judy. Our associate producer, Judy. We want to thank from Clifton, New Jersey, and everybody out there. Keep on schlocking, and remember, Mashiach is coming soon. Don't lose hope. I know it's tough right now, but don't lose hope. We're going to see it all. We're going to see it all with God's help. And all right, so the next time I'll go on, maybe will be Thursday with Eitan G. Maybe that will be our goal. Thursday with Eitan G. If he's around, if he's not around, then it'll just be Thursday with me. But we are doing no music. It's no music for 3 weeks. We don't need music. Yes, we do. We love music, but maybe we'll sing some a cappella. All right, everybody. That takes us to the end of the show. Lenny Solomon Live, show 425. 425. Keep on schlocking. And remember, we'll see you soon.